Hello, I'm Jason Smith. So, I'll tell you briefly what I do. I'm a hypnotherapist. I run a business which involves hypnotherapy and also meridian therapy, which is sometimes called emotional freedom technique, which is basic acupressure. But majority of the time I use hypnotherapy and hypnotherapy techniques. I specialise in health, healing and fitness, so I work with all manner of people and all manner of issues in relation to health and fitness. And I also run some courses and groups which utilise the similar sorts of techniques. While in my business I predominantly use hypnotherapy with a little bit of meridian therapy in there as well. But in my courses I use similar techniques, but I utilise meditation and visualisation in the groups and in the courses that we're running. So whereas the techniques are the same, it's just a slightly different way of doing it. Because when you're dealing with an individual, you're looking at them on an individual basis, and you can very much work with them in a very condensed way. So when you're dealing with a group, you're dealing with a number of different people. So meditation and visualization is very, very powerful, because then you can build up through the weeks these techniques and these abilities, and after the course is over you will have some new techniques and abilities to enable you to utilise these skills and this knowledge. So I'd like to briefly talk about just a few examples of the techniques that I use, and these are techniques that I've developed myself over the last 18 years. I've been doing this for 18 years, and I've developed these through time, basically by what works and what has benefit. And at the moment, and as we've moved on, I'm now getting to a stage where well over 90% of the clients that I see get very, very good benefit from these techniques. So they're very, very powerful and very, very much make good change in their lives. So one of the examples of the techniques that I use is when you have a craving or an addiction for a food, it's on an unconscious level. So you do it without thinking. It's when you all of a sudden you're watching TV and you've eaten an entire cream cake and you think, oh, how did that happen? So it's on an unconscious level. You do it without thinking. You know, so you've eaten sort of half the snack. You think, well, I've eaten half the snack, I may as well continue on. What you can do with visualization and meditation, you can instill a trigger in your mind. So when you've eaten enough food, you can give yourself a trigger to change that. Also, when you're eating, if you don't want to eat a specific food, you can give yourself a warning or a signal that this craving is coming to get you. And what that allows you to do then is to make a very, very good conscious decision to reject or refuse that bad food, or to make a different decision. So it's allowing you to move from that unconscious to that conscious state, and that's in itself is very, very powerful, because that's where habits are based, in the unconscious. So it allows you then to effectively create a new habit pattern, a much more positive habit pattern, because habits and cravings don't have to be negative. They can be positive. You can crave positive, healthy, natural foods, and that is generally a good thing. You can also change how foods taste and how foods feel. So, for example, you could have a food that you don't enjoy, a fruit or vegetable that you don't enjoy. You can change how that food tastes, how that food feels. So you can then begin to create a new habit pattern around that food. An example is I work with a professional bodybuilder who had to eat a specific food, not a nice food, but a healthy food, but didn't enjoy the taste. So we changed the taste of that food, and now they really enjoy it and really crave it, and it's very, very good and beneficial for their lifestyle, for their fitness, and for their career. So that's really, really good. The other thing you can do, as well as changing how foods feel and how foods taste, and you can do that as well with bad foods. You can do the same thing. You can make them taste less desirable, so they don't have that hold on you anymore. And again, that's a very, very, very powerful change, and that's a change in your mind and your habit patterns. You can also change your actual eating patterns. People don't, I think, put enough emphasis on this aspect. I think it's on its own, I think it can be very, very powerful. Eating at the right times and eating in the right proportions, it is very, very powerful. Because if you're eating at the right times and you're having enough food to satisfy you, then you're not going to go into the snacking issues of snacking. So it helps you to keep yourself sustained and give you that energy that you need for the day, and not to fall into those patterns of snacking on generally of bad things. But the other thing that I do that's very, very common and very, very popular is we can change the habit pattern in relation to snacking. Often snacking is bad food. It's that packet of crisps or that biscuit every time you've had a cup of tea, or you're in a certain environment, or you go out with friends or whatever. So you can change that habit pattern. You can either reject or refuse that habit pattern, or you can change, or you can substitute that snack for something else. For example, I always suggest to people that you substitute it with a fruit. Grapes is a specifically good option to do that with for various reasons. So I always suggest that. So again, it's reprogramming your mind and creating effectively a new habit pattern. So there's lots of good techniques that I use. I also use energy techniques. I have an energy group where you develop, you're able to channel energy into your body. You feel more energized and feel much better. One of the things that's not very well known is that you can actually, just through the power of your mind alone, you can actually send a message to the muscles in your body to grow. There was a study done at Manchester University where they had half of the students lift a weight with the little finger, and half the students visualised doing it. The half that actually did the exercise, they had an increase in the muscle mass of that area. The half that visualised doing it, they didn't have the same increase in muscle mass, but they had a significant increase. So that, I think, is very, 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 very profound. And what it says actually effectively is that you can increase your muscle and send messages to your muscle and build muscle effectively through the power of your mind alone. And I use these techniques as well. Again, it's about consistency. You don't get the same benefit as you would obviously going to the gym, but to say to someone that you can actually build muscle without stepping out of your house, or indeed without stepping off your sofa, I think that's very appealing to some people. And these techniques are something that we'll touch upon in this course as well. So lots of I think groundbreaking techniques that I've developed myself. So these are not techniques that are widely used in this field, because it's things that I developed through my business, and what works with clients, I then put those into practice. I'm a believer in I use what works, and I take any technique that works. I'm only concerned with results of clients and of people. That's what I'm concerned about. So there's a few examples of the techniques then that I employ in my business. In relation to the courses that we're talking about today, why I think we're really different, and I genuinely do believe that, and Faith does as well. Firstly, we've got the nutritional information that's provided via Faith, and this is, again, it's cutting edge. It's not something that you see in the other groups who are very much stuck to the same old mindsets of a lot of these programs. This is Faith's expertise, but I found this information personally very, very interesting, and a lot of the stuff that she was saying was a real culture shock to me, and I think it will be to everyone else. So the information that this course is based on in relation to nutrition and healthy eating is cutting edge, actually, and it's very, 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 very worthwhile. We incorporate these into the course, and I incorporate these also into my techniques. So we're combining the two together into a very, very good combination. And I think one of the things that's very, very different and that's missing from a lot of these programs is that they focus on the physical aspect. You know, they focus on the eating, what you're eating, you know, and exercise to some degree as well. But I don't believe that there's any programs that focus on the mind aspect, the mental aspect of eating, and of healthy eating, and of eating the right foods. And I know from my experience working with professional sportsmen that in all sports, top sportsmen say that 90% of being very, very successful in sports is attributed to the mind. These are the people that achieve the great things because the mind is very, very powerful. It's changing that mindset, changing that thought process, and that is something that's very much overlooked. And Faith will attest to this actually in her work as a personal trainer. You can give someone the very, very best exercise program, the very, very best weight program, but if they don't have their mind on track and they haven't got the correct habit patterns in their mind, then they won't be able to achieve the benefits that somebody else may be able to do who's got those techniques. So I think that is a fundamental difference. We're balancing both the physical aspect, the body, with the mental aspect and the mind, and putting these two together, I think, makes this a very, very powerful course indeed. And I just ask anyone to just experience it, and they will realise that this is something that is very different, and it's a very much a long-standing change. A lot of these programs that are out there, when you're on the programs, you know, they work to some degree, but as soon as you come off the programs, you know, you fall back into old patterns. What we want to do with our course is give you this information, give you these techniques, and one of the other techniques that I employ is use an advanced memory technique, so you can totally digest, if you don't want that, use that word, this information, and retain this information, and you can use it for the rest of your life, as well as the techniques that we employ as well. So it's not, our course is not a course for a number of weeks. It's a course for life, really. So when you come off our course, you will have the information, you'll have the techniques and the abilities to use these techniques and information to benefit your life, your fitness, your health, you know, going on effectively forever. There's no reason why you can't use this forever. The final thing that I think is different about these courses that we're rolling out is that we look at everybody as an individual, whereas most of the other programs out there that we've seen, you know, give you a diet plan. So you have to eat these foods in these proportions, and if you do, you'll have these results. And it will work for some people. When you're on the plan, when you go off the plan, it changes. But while you're on the plan, it may work for some people. But there's a problem. Everybody is an individual, and everybody is different. For example, a few examples. Everybody's metabolism is different. For example, I have a very, very high metabolism. I can eat a meal very, very late in the evening, and I will have burnt that off before I go to bed, or or to a very, very good degree. People with slow metabolism will burn food off at a very, very lower level, a very, very slower pace. So you've got to look at this. So people who've got high metabolism will be able to eat more food, and probably should eat more food. Depending on your lifestyle, if you work in an office, if you sat down all day and you have little exercise, you're going to need probably less energy and less food, because food is energy, than somebody who works in a very physical job. You know, they're going to need more food to sustain themselves. So having the same eating plan, the same proportions for these people just isn't going to work. You've also got it's common sense. Everybody is at a different age in their life. People have got different conditions. Some people might be, recovering from an illness. They might have certain ailments that prevent them from being very active and more active than some people. So what we do on our courses, we look at everybody as an individual. You know, of course we've got these advanced nutritional information and these techniques that I bring as well. They're very advanced, but we allow the individual to make that work for them. Some people may have to eat more food to sustain themselves. Some people will be happy and be comfortable and will have the energy they need eating less. Some people want to do exercise, and that's a good thing. We try and encourage people to do exercise, but in reality, and I know through my business, you don't need to do a lot of exercise to get the benefits from eating nutritious food and health. You don't need to do a massive amount of exercise. Sometimes just taking a walk every day would be good. But this is why people are different, and you can't put everybody in the same box. And this is what our courses have been put together with this in mind, that everyone is an individual. So we'll provide the information, we'll give you the use of these advanced techniques, but ultimately it will be your decision to make this course work for you, to make it fit into your life, to make it fit into your lifestyle, and what you want out of life. Not everybody wants to be super fit. Not everybody needs to be super fit. You know, not everyone wants to be really, really thin. People might want to be stronger. So it's everybody is an individual, but that's what this course offers. So I think you'll find when you look at the information, I think you'll find that this is something very, very unique, and we believe this is going to be so beneficial to people. It will help just your average person to become more healthy, to become more energized, but also what it will do is it will help people who are recovering from illness, or even better, people wanting to prevent an illness from starting in the first place. This is the key to our courses: prevention. You know, curing the disease is good, but we want to be there before that happens. We want to be preventing a problem before it happens, and we know that our information and our techniques will do that. We know that if you stick to our plan, and it's a lifestyle plan, and it's not difficult, it's just creating a new mindset, a new habit pattern, and a new lifestyle. And we know that if you do that, you will be able to much more easily prevent sometimes very, very serious problems in your life. So just take a look at the information and see what you think, and have an open mind.